So I'm Bryan Hilderbrand, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the MediaWiki Stakeholders Group, what it is and why you should join. A couple speakers already have alluded to what it is. But first of all, get a little crowd involvement here. So just a show of hands, who has hosted a wiki? Probably not that many, but a few. Actually, way more than I thought. Quite a bit. All right. How about created or maintained a MediaWiki extension? A little bit more. Installed an extension on a wiki? Quite a bit more. And created or edited a template or table in a wiki? Vast majority. And then edited any page in a wiki. So probably about everybody. So what does that mean? Well, I'm probably in the right place for this discussion because we have, hosters, we have developers and consultants, we have wiki super users and normal users. So just a quick little aside. I'm going to pop up a couple of things here and try to figure out you can shout it out loud, tell me what it is, and at the end there's going to be a few of them. We're going to try to figure out what the relation is. So what is this? Doesn't have to be specific, but cool. Yeah, or just a car. So we got a car. Motorcycle, all right. Train. So we got a plane, boat. Some people over here know this. Submarine. Yeah, International Space Station. Okay. And anybody? The MediaWiki Stakeholders Group. So what's the relation out of these? What's the kind of commonality? There's some in the NASA group actually have one of the words in the name that I'm looking for. But it's a vehicle, right? These are all kind of vehicles to get people places, right? So at some level, these are all to transport a physical human somewhere. But at the end of the day, the definition of a vehicle is, a medium to get something somewhere else. So for the MediaWiki Stakeholders Group, we're trying to get a group of people that maybe have disparate and different ideas about what they want, some common goal. So what's the common goal right now for the MediaWiki Stakeholders Group? We have a couple things listed. First of all, just some history about the group. It's actually been around for quite a while. I think, is it 2014-ish that the site went up. There's monthly meetings that Mark hosts. It's a really great forum to get information, ask questions, get help. You can be a part of it by driving the conversation. We're also active on Riot, so it's another one of the instant messaging platforms. There's a link to the Enterprise, or this conference's version, but later on I'll show you the website where you can get on for the Stakeholders Group Riot channel as well. And again, it's a really great way to ask a question about whatever you're doing, development, consultation, hosting, normal MediaWiki usage, and get a bunch of experts like you guys in the crowd to respond to it. But recently we requested and were approved for a grant from the Wikimedia Foundation to incorporate. So they're covering a small amount of money to go out and get incorporated, file for nonprofit status, and that allows us to do quite a bit more. That incorporation is almost complete, but what does that do? Where does this new vehicle get us, right? So currently the purposes and the activities that are stated by the group are maintenance of MediaWiki and its extensions, cooperation and liaison with the Wikimedia Foundation, promotion of best practices in a healthy ecosystem for MediaWiki and its uses or users, advocacy for third-party users of MediaWiki, so you guys, education for all users of MediaWiki, facilitate implementation of MediaWiki features, coordination between different groups of MediaWiki developers and operators, communication and coordination among MediaWiki users, and foster the ecosystem around MediaWiki. So last, I think, improved documentation of extensions and MediaWiki visibility. So the documentation is something I'm pretty passionate about. It's something I think the group really could do better, but contribute to the development of MediaWiki. So there's a lot of stuff here, but as I read through them, some of them might resonate with you. You might say, yeah, this is something that we definitely need more of. Something might be missing as well, right? So do you find that this doesn't represent what you would want from a group? Because, you know, at some level, based off the show of hands, we're all invested in the MediaWiki ecosystem. So what does it need, right? And how do we get there? So the how do we get there, going back to our little icons and graphics, how do we steer these different things, right? Car, we've got a steering wheel. Motorcycle, motorcycle handles, plane, yoke, boat, wheel, maybe an old school wheel, sub, another yoke, I'm not sure what it's called. ISS, so we actually do have some NAS people in here, so I think that actually is some form of control that they have there, but maybe Houston's the better explanation for that. But what about the MediaWiki stakeholders group? What's the way to steer and control that? You guys. So you guys are the way that we need to get information about ideas, about how to change, what needs to be changed, and now we have a vehicle to allow us to actually get that change. So, you know, was there something missing from those goals that we already described? You know, are you super passionate about something? Let us know. Is there something that we need to focus on? You know, just straight extension support. Maybe there's an extension or a suite of extensions that the development or developers are kind of burning out on and they need help. We can help address that. We can try to find resources, both manpower and money, to help address that need. I'm also kind of posting or putting Yaron's group, the MediaWiki, Enterprise MediaWiki Consortium on it as well, because the MediaWiki stakeholders group might be an avenue to fund development through that. Did I get that right, Yaron? Is that? Okay, sure. But what about extension creation? Is there something missing that's that killer feature that we need to have? What about a security audit? Do we need to pay to get some form of security audit on maybe a standardized system like Meza to allow its use in a government agency that might not otherwise allow some open source software in? Would it be a good use to finance conferences, to add a little bit of money to this, try to you know, improve marketing for the conferences, or specifically for the use of MediaWiki? Is that something that you guys think would help? Or possibly it's just to kind of pay a little bit back and help fund the Wikimedia Foundation and pay for the development of the software that we get to enjoy for free. What else? What other things are there that is missing from the previous slide or from the list that I've added here? So it's an open question. We'd love to hear more about it. And if you join, you can help drive that change that you're probably passionate about, or you have some idea that you want to see. So a really quick introduction. So Mark already let everybody know, but Mark Hirschberger is the president, on the board of directors. He fills the role of president. James Montavolo is the vice president. And so if you don't know anybody, this is a great opportunity if you're at your table to ask a little bit more about what the MediaWiki stakeholders group is, how you can join. I'll go into that a little bit more after. Avita Hollis is the treasurer. I'm the secretary, and Cindy Chicklese is on the board, along with Lex Sulzer, Marcus Glaser, and Sabine Melnitsky. Okay. But some more information can be found both, so that kind of line butchers that second link, but MWStake.org is the site. You can go to it right now. You can find out more about the meetings. I'll talk about that in a second. But also, there's a link to the page on MediaWiki.org that you can get to, and both of those kind of go back and forth between them. The bylaws are present on the MWStake site. And a lot of the kind of information that we've been talking about in history is on there as well. Like I mentioned, there's monthly meetings, and the information about when those is linked to on the site. And additionally, I believe this Friday, so is it going to be before the conference?
No, it's in the afternoon. Networking, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have a small MW meeting during the Create Camp. There'll be a little time partitioned off, so it's a great time to come up, ask a little bit of questions, talk to some people, and hopefully get involved. So the other thing to point out, Cindy mentioned Riot for use for this conference, and I mentioned it earlier as well, but we do have a Riot channel specifically for MW Stake. So that's, this is kind of right now the proposed fee schedule that we have. So for an ordinary individual user not associated with anybody or any entity, it's $100 a year. All of the money goes to something that as a group we decide is appropriate. So if that is for fixing extensions, funding conferences, marketing, whatever, that's where the money goes. And then here's kind of the suggested contribution for enterprises or businesses that use MediaWiki that would like to be a part of it. And there's some little benefits about being able to show their support on their website or on MW Stake as well. But that's the quick overview of MW Stake, the MediaWiki Stakeholders Group. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody wants to join, that's why, right? There's no questions.
What's the most fun activity you all have
Planned?
planned?
I think maybe, is it bowling tonight or tomorrow?
The most fun activity is 1 p.m. on Friday when we're going to have a stakeholders group meeting right here in this room.
Oh my word, I can hardly wait.
And that fee schedule is the proposed fee schedule. I don't know what the status is of adopting that yet, but
It's going to be
we have
removed.
yet to collect any actual money.
What's that?
We have yet to collect any actual money.
But we're not, history-wise, we have not finally incorporated and filed for nonprofit status, but it's coming soon. Once we're able to do that, we can, there'll be a resolution to confirm that fee schedule, and then we can start.
So you do not have to pay to come to the meeting on Friday.
Yeah, I think the having membership fees and getting corporate donations is a great idea, and it can really help a lot in terms of putting teeth to this thing or whatever the metaphor is. Can you go back to that list of things that it does? Sorry to make you go back there. Well, okay, there's a lot of things that you're thinking of doing. Hey, I guess this is okay. I'm sorry. Forget it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There was a few things in there, or maybe just one that I didn't understand. Maybe it was the facilitate implementation of MediaWiki features. Yeah, what does that mean?
So I think this was all taken from I think one an article that Marcus Glaser wrote, and two, what was the other piece that we pulled from? No, there was two. But anyway, it was on there for a reason. I don't know the answer.
All right, okay, that's fine. Well, the others all seem worthy in any case. Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks.